Hello, hello, hello. Just getting going here, getting everything set up. Welcome. So glad you made it. Today is day 4 of the 30-day challenge to magically reduce your stress while having fun. I hope you're having fun with me. If you're not, then just throw on a smile and let it shake it out, let it go. See if we can be more present in the moment in a less serious but yet mindful, fun way. So I'm really grateful that you've been joining me. We are on, like I said, on day 4, and we're going to dive right in. It's amazing how fast 30 minutes goes when we're doing 3 yoga poses, 2 mindfulness practices, and a breath work or a breath practice. Yesterday on day 3, we cut our second mindfulness session pretty short because we ran out of time. So we're going to use it today. And that's just how we roll, right? We are human, we make mistakes, we go with the flow, we switch it up, we just do the best we can. So I am perfectly imperfect. That's one of my favorite expressions. Divinely perfect, humanly imperfect, right? So we have been focusing this first week on the theme of being grounded. And being grounded in the moment is our focus for today. We're doing seated chair yoga poses this week for the first 7 days. And let's go ahead and dive right in. So I encourage you just to close your eyes for a moment, or if you're not comfortable with that, you can find a soft gaze and just look down at one point and just begin to tune into your breath. Take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. This is that Ujjayi breath that we went into more depth on our first day, day 1. And as you're focusing on the breath, finding yourself grounding into this moment, just begin to let go. Let go of anything that happened before this moment. Let go of any anticipation of settling in, of letting go of what's ahead. Just be with the breath, with your body in this moment. So we're going to begin our session today with one of our mindfulness practices, which is called S.T.O.P. And it's actually the acronym for the letters, or for the word stop, S.T.O.P. So we're going to begin with the S, which stands for stop, or stop what you're doing. And so we'll practice this together a little bit here, but this is really a powerful tool to take with you into your life. And just think about maybe when you see a stop sign that you can practice this, or when you have a lot going on in your life, sometimes to stop, look at your feet. So the S is to stop what you're doing. That's getting it started. The P is to pause your thoughts. And so we talked about this, pausing the thoughts, or this thought awareness. It's not the easiest thing to do, but if you actually just simply think, I'm going to pause my thoughts. The next thing that most of us notice is breathing. And you may notice you're holding your breath, or you may continue to focus on a breath. Take a deep breath. And that taking the deep breath, the T, comes next. So you stop what you're doing, pause your thoughts and your actions, whatever it is, just find stillness. And T, take a deep breath. That deep breath brings you into the present moment. So the O is to observe your body. Observe the sensations in the body. Yesterday, we did a powerful 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 mindfulness practice of getting into our senses. So you're going to observe the sensations in your body. So right now I'm noticing kind of my torso, my rib cage, my chest breathing. I'm going to observe that it's a tad bit warm right now. Prefer it to be a little bit cooler, so I feel that temperature in my body. I hear the sounds around me. Also, you can observe your emotional state, observing those thoughts in the mind if they're still coming back, which they normally do. They're resilient. And then the P in stop is proceed with what you're doing. So again, you've just taken a few moments to physically stop, mentally stop those thoughts, those actions, to take a deep breath. S is stop, T is take a deep breath, O is observe sensations in your body, in your mind, in your emotional state. And then our P is to proceed with what you're doing. And hopefully you're able to proceed with a bit more mindfulness, a bit more groundedness in the present moment. So that's our first mindfulness practice for today. And I really wanted to start with that to, again, bring us very present into the moment as we move into some of our yoga poses. So as I mentioned, we're doing chair yoga this week. So you can just be seated in your chair, so much that you can do in your chair. And we're going to focus on the shoulders and the arms a bit today. So let's start with just doing some shoulder rolls, kind of warm up those muscles a little bit. This is a great thing to do hourly, regularly throughout the day. Just to release that tension. You might hear some snap, crack, pop in there. This brings me back to the commercials from the 80s, the Rice Krispies. Maybe they still have them, but I remember them back then, 70s and 80s. And what that snap, crackle, pop sounds are is just fluid moving in the joints and the shoulders. It's like we're lubricating them. It's not actually bones popping or cracking. It's just that fluid moving, the oxygen, the blood flowing through. All right, so we've warmed up those shoulders a little bit. We are going to stretch our arms out really wide, and we're going to give ourselves a hug. Take your right arm under your left. We did this yesterday, so you can stay in this hug here, or crossing at the elbows, draw the arms towards each other. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see me. So back of the hands can come towards each other, or the fingertips can wrap around. We want to keep the palms wrap around. We want to keep the fingertips pointing straight up. This is eagle arms. My shoulders want to go up, and I'm going to try to relax them down. I'm just looking straight ahead, however you are seated, and breathe. So this can be a pretty intense stretch in the back of the upper body, the upper back. So maybe close the eyes, take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. Let the elbows just rest and melt it down. If this is too intense, which it may be, just stick with that hug that we started with. So you can stay here or stay here. We're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Now we're going to inhale, stretch those arms back out. I have the right arm underneath. Reach them back out, and I'm going to bring the left arm underneath. Stretch that left arm around. Give yourself that big hug. And then you can stay here or bring those hands together towards each other. So again, back of the hands can touch. Try not to clasp the hands down. Keep the energy pointing up. Or maybe the hands wrap around. So eagle arms. Notice what's happening here in the lower belly. Again, I mentioned sometimes we arch out or we draw back in. You want to find a nice neutral position here. So sitting upright. If you're not leaning against the back of your chair, that's kind of ideal. So again, we're working the core here. We have that space between our spine and the back of the chair so we're sitting upright. Again, so many of us slouch, even in our yoga poses, we can slouch or overarch. So just sitting up nice and tall. And sometimes that can be a lot of work, again, because our core muscles are not conditioned to have a good posture. They are constantly slouched forward or backwards, then it's a lot more work just to sit upright. But I think that we'd all agree we don't want to have a hunchback as we get older. And I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot more people with that hunchback, and it hurts to see that. Painful. 2 more breaths here. And then gently release, stretch those arms out. Inhale, exhale, let them come down. Let's roll those shoulders up, back, and around. All right, the next pose we're going to do is a tricep stretch. So I'm going to show you 2 variations. So you're going to inhale, reach one arm up overhead. I'll start with my right. Bring the hand behind the head. So one variation is just to bring the other hand to that elbow. We want to keep the elbow pointing straight up and down here, chin parallel. So this can hold it in place. The other option is to bring that other arm behind you and bring the hands towards each other. They may be down lower in the back. They may come to touch. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we are breathing and opening up our tricep here. If the hand is behind you, you're going to feel this quite intensely in the other shoulder. I know I do. Every time I share this pose, it's a reminder that I need to do it daily. Do I do it daily? I try, but I cannot say I'm successful. But it's so important to stretch out and open up those arms. Take a deep breath in and out. 2 more breaths. And gently release. Ooh. Roll those shoulders up, back, and around. And we're going to switch sides. Other arm comes up and down. Again, the hand can come to the elbow here. So this is going to be just basically only that tricep stretch. Or the other arm can come back behind you. Again, it doesn't matter if the hands touch or not. What matters is that you're breathing into the stretch, into the body. And again, check out your torso. Are you arching or are you contracting? Find that center. So this is a functional abdominal exercise in a way. Good. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. 1 more breath here. And gently, slowly release. Whew. Roll those shoulders up, back, and around. Getting warmer in here. All right, so we did our eagle arms, our tricep stretch, and now we're going to do a shoulder stretch. So I encourage you to move forward on your seat a little bit more so that you have room behind you. And I'm going to turn. What we're going to do is we're going to inhale, reach those arms up overhead, and then swim them back behind you. Bring them together behind you. So we can press the palms together, or they can be open. We're just going to draw backwards as if we're squeezing a pencil between our shoulder blades. Again, drawing that belly in and find nice upright spine, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Arms are mostly straight, slight bend, and reaching down. So this is obviously one you can do standing or seated. Let's see how easy this is to do at your desk. And what I love about it is, again, we're really opening up the chest, the front of the body. Again, when you think about seeing kids, they're not really, if they're active and moving about, they're not really slouched forward, right? It's when we start staring at these screens that we slouch forward. So what if you were on a Zoom call and you're just like this the whole time. Might look a little funny because people might wonder where your arms are. When we were kids, we were like, look, I have no arms, which I admit is not necessarily very, it's not socially just, but it's a good stretch. So let's just honor and be grateful that we have our arms. And if you don't have your arms, then there are probably amazing stretches that you could still squeeze those shoulder blades together and draw backwards. So wanting to be supportive and inclusive. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. It's a process for all of us, right? Nobody's perfect. Like I mentioned at the top of the hour, perfectly imperfect, a work in progress. Being able to be humble about it and acknowledge when we're not always so mindful of our thoughts and our words, which I absolutely am working on all the time. So I appreciate your patience. Are you still feeling that shoulder stretch? I know I talk a lot while we're doing our poses. Trying to keep you there so you don't get distracted and move somewhere else. Good. Let's gently release. Oh, roll those shoulders up, back, and around. All right, sit back into your chair again, sitting up nice and tall. And we're just going to close our eyes and move into our second mindfulness practice for the day, which is the inner sanctuary. And then we will close it off with our breath work. So I encourage you to close your eyes, turn your attention inward, take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And as you're settling into the breath, just begin to turn inward. And I'd like you to imagine your heart. This could be the heart shape that we draw as kids, as adults, or our emojis that we share. Or it could be, if you know what the anatomy of the actual physical heart looks like, you could be thinking of that heart as well, which is similar. And just notice the beating of your heart. So when we engage in life, our heart is always beating at a different rhythm. Sometimes faster, sometimes slower. And when we're in a sanctuary, a place of feeling the sacred all around us, or maybe you use the words of passion or joy or safety or love, our hearts tend to slow down. They feel more rested and more at peace. And so I'm going to encourage you to begin to find your inner sanctuary and begin to visualize or remember or imagine a place from your past or your future that it feels so peaceful to you. That is somewhere you would love to be and spend more time. Somewhere that makes you feel so happy. Somewhere that makes you feel that all is right in the world. One of my favorite places is on top of a mountain. Usually in the winter, I'm snowboarding or hiking or just sitting out and looking at the beautiful views. And so as you begin to imagine this place, maybe it's a series of places, but if you can find one and start to bring in the senses, notice what you see. If you can really see crystal clear with your eyes, the views, the space all around you. Begin to bring in your hearing. Notice what you hear around you. Is there Mother Nature or other people? or even silence. Begin to notice if there's any smells in the air. Are you inside or outside? Is it Mother Nature smells or handmade, homemade smells? Notice what you feel. Maybe you feel the air on your skin, or maybe you feel the warmth of your clothing, or you feel things that you're touching or engaging with your physical body, the earth beneath you, around you. Notice if there are any tastes, anything that you may be consuming in this scene or environment. Or maybe this just sense of satisfaction. And now think of making all of these senses, these five senses, really vivid and bright, and as if you're actually there right now. Think of this as time travel, traveling in a joyful way, being in that space. Maybe you're a kid in this space. Maybe you're more wise and older. And now imagine that space, that you shrink it down and that you place it in your heart. Taking this inner sanctuary inside, place it in your heart and place your hands over your heart, maybe one over the other. And taking that experience, this inner sanctuary that you've created that's unique to you, no right or wrong way to do it, and imagine that it's moving through all of the veins and arteries of your body, through the cells, the blood cells, the hormones that move through the body. It's moving and traveling through every cell of your body. And this inner sanctuary is becoming deeply ingrained into the memory, the mitochondria of the cells of your body, deep within, through the brain, the mind, excuse me, through all the physical cells of your body, through all the spatial cells around your body, maybe 2 to 4 feet above, below, in front of, and behind the entire body, feeling that inner sanctuary everywhere within and around you and through you. And allow your hands to rest back onto your lap. Keeping those eyes closed, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And so if you'd like, you can continue to feel the inner sanctuary as we begin to move into our breathing practice for today, which will be a counting practice. We're going to do slow, deep breaths in to 6 and slow, deep breaths out to 6. So I will count for you, and I just encourage you to breathe through the count. We'll change the tempo of it 3 times. So just come to a normal breath to begin, breathing in and out of the nose, letting yourself settle in, being present in that inner sanctuary if you like, or you can release that for now and just focus on the breath with me. So we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowing it down a little bit. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowing it down a bit. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Just let yourself breathe naturally. You can keep the eyes closed or open if you'd like. So, part of the point of doing these different breathing exercises over these 30 days is to expose you to so many different ways to breathe, to control the breath. In our yoga practice, we call this pranayama. So prana is the life force energy that moves through our body. We all know without the heartbeat, without the breath, we are not alive. So our breath is part of our life force energy. And yama means to control. So we're controlling the breath through these breathing practices to have some control over our lives. I like to joke because there's a meme that says, "Relax, you're never in control." And I do believe that to a certain extent. Like, I make plans and God laughs. And at the same time, we do have control of this physical body. We can control our breath intentionally. Thank goodness if we don't, it still hopefully breathes for us until we take that last breath. And, in many ways, we can't control the mind and the thoughts that show up. And at the same time, we can become aware of the mind's thoughts that come up. And we can control whether we continue to follow that path, or if we want to take a deep breath in and to let that go. So there are so many things that we can't control in life, and most of them are all external. We can't control other people, situations, circumstances. The things we can control are our breath, what we choose to focus on, regardless of what shows up in our mind. It's going to come, it's going to go, and we can choose to plant and put positive thoughts in there and control the direction of where we're going with our life. One of the practices we'll be doing at some point is visioning as well, so that we can create our future. And what I love about that is it doesn't always look the way we want it. I've had so many things this year. My visions have come true and they look different than what I imagined. But when I look at what's happening, the vision is actually realized. So there's many layers, right, to this and everything. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope, or in this moment, whether it's day or nighttime, I hope that you are having a great moment. Continue to breathe mindfully. I really believe that when we practice mindfulness, whether that's yoga or breathing or these practices, that we find more peace within ourselves. And when we have more internal peace, the people around us feel that peace, it spreads, we can share it with them. And I believe that we will find peace in the world. So thank you so much for joining me. The light inside of me sees and honors the light inside of you. Namaste. And play. Have a great day.